Hello and welcome to another tutorial on full stack programming. In this video, we will explore how to implement localization in a Laravel project. I will take an existing web page and localize it into two languages, English and Spanish. Plus, I will also show you how to create a language switcher, allowing users to effortlessly toggle between languages. So let's dive in and bring multilingual functionality to your Laravel project. Here I have a landing page that I've created using Tailwind, and it's fairly simple, but it has a lot of text. So I'm going to basically be localizing it to it's already in English, but I'm also going to be localizing it for Spanish. So let's see how we can go about doing that. So the first things first, we need to publish our language files, since if you look at our directory structure, we don't have a lang folder here. So what we need to do is we need to run php artisan lang :publish, and this should give us our lang folder. And in this we have a folder for en, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new file, because this is a landing page and the text that is in this page is not going to be repeated in other places in our application, which is likely. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a separate file called landing.php, and this file just needs to return an array, just like a config file in Laravel. And let's get going. So all we need to do is we need to take a text, and we're going to move it into the lang file. So since this is inside of the header, so I'm going to call this a header title, and this is going to be the subtitle. The organization depends on you. You can do nesting inside of this, or you can keep a flat file with just a key and a value, and it depends on the situation. But there are pros and cons for both approaches. So what I like to do is, like, so I like to go with the nesting approach, so because it seems more natural to me. But you can also do the flat file if that makes more sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a header key here, and then inside of that I'm going to create a title, and then I'm going to paste the title in there. And inside of our blade template, I'm going to use the trans helper, and inside we're going to say landing, which is our file name, and then the header, which is the key inside of that, and then we're going to say title. So then it is going to print the value of title. So if we go back, we should just see this exactly the same as before, but now it is coming from the language file. So now let's do it for our subtitle. I'm going to copy that, and inside of our header I'm going to say subtitle, and let's paste that in there, and let's replace this with landing.header.subtitle, and if you go back it should be the same. So let's keep going. And for this we're going to copy this and create a new section for about, and let's say title is going to be about us, and the subtitle would be let's copy this, and now we can just replace this with landing.about.title, and this will be landing.about.subtitle. If you go back, yep, and then we have our services. So I'm going to copy this and we have 3 services: translation, localization, and consulting. So let's see how we can do that. So I'm gonna say services, and let's create the title, and then we're going to create a new section for the translation, and then we're going to create a new array for that, create a title, and it will be just translation. Actually, let's copy the detail for this and we can call it subtitle, but I think it makes more sense to me if it's called detail. So let's do that, and I'm going to just copy and paste it again, and then the next one is going to be the localization. Let me just copy the detail for it first, and let's say localization, and let's do localization. All right, and the third one is for consulting. Let's put the heading there, and let's make this consulting, and here we're going to copy paste the detail here for consulting. Let's go back. Yes, it's looking good. And yeah, so let me actually refresh and see that it's actually working. Okay, so let's then do for our testimonial. So I'm going to create a new section here, and let's call it testimonial, and inside we'll say title, and the title will be what our clients say. And after that we will have the detail. Okay, let's do detail, and then we will have the happy client. So let's just call it happy client. Let's do this. If you go back, actually, when I was checking to see, it worked. It didn't change anything, which was what to be expected if I'd done it correctly. But actually, I didn't echo these out. So let's do that. So I'm sorry about that. So let's do landing.services.title. Let's go back. It works. Okay. Then we'll do landing.translation.title. So if you make a mistake, then it's going to just echo out the key that you passed to the lang helper, the trans helper. So let's see a landing translation title. So if we go back, and if you see, no, it's supposed to be landing.services because it's inside of services. So we do services.translation.title. Yep, it works. And we can do the same for the detail. So let's put that in, and we'll say subtitle. No, actually not subtitle. This is supposed to be detail. And what we can do is we can just copy and paste this to save some time. And here I'm going to say, actually just use the multiple cursors, localization, and then we have actually no, let's do it again, consulting. Yes, yep, looks good. And here we will do testimonial.title. Yep, I think I made a mistake there as well. Let's go and look. So it's testimonial title. Well, it should work. It's supposed to be landing.testimonial. Yes. Yep. And then we have the landing detail. So let's paste that here. We just say detail, and here it will be the happy client, and all good. Now let's work on the contact section. So we're going to create that. Let's say contact, and the title, the subtitle, I guess, and the placeholders for these 3 fields, and the button. Okay, so let's do title, and it will be get in touch. We'll have the subtitle, and let's bring that in. Okay. And then for the form, let's put them inside of the form, and we'll say I'm going to prefix these with ph. It's not not like it's just a personal preference of mine. For the placeholders, I want to do ph, so that I can then just differentiate them from the label if we have labels, but right now we don't, but I'm just going to use ph. So for it will be your email, and what else was there? Yes, your message. So let's say ph underscore message, your message, and then we also have the send message button, I guess. Yes. So let's say send message. Let's do send message. All right. So now we can just replace these. So we'll say landing.contact.title, and then for this we'll do landing.contact.subtitle, and for the name we'll do landing.contact.form.name, and yeah, I think there's a so it's supposed to be ph underscore name. Yep. And let me copy this and paste it here, and let's do, instead of name, email, and then actually ph underscore message, and here we will do send message. Let's save that, and let's take a look. All right, so we now moved all of our content into our language file right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, and inside of our lang folder I'm going to create a new directory inside of lang, and I'll call it ES, which is for Spanish, Espanol, and I'm going to create a new file with the same name, landing.php, and I'm going to paste that in. All right, and now what I'm going to do, the longer way would be to go to Google and just do English to Spanish if you want like a kind of okay translation. I mean, of course, if you really wanted accuracy, you have to use like a real translator. But if you do this, and if I go to my env file, and let's set app locale. So if we set it to es, and if I like refresh, yeah, we see that it's showing that title, but everything else is in English because we pasted everything in English. So another way we can do that is I'm going to undo this. I'm going to take this whole file and I'm going to take it to ChatGPT, and I'm going to paste, and at the top I'm going to say convert this to Spanish, convert this, let's say Laravel lang file to Spanish. So it's going to do it pretty quickly for us, translate everything, and it's going to keep the format hopefully. So let's copy that, and for Espanol let's paste. And now if we go over here, we get everything in Spanish. So tu nombre, correo electrónico, and tu mensaje. All right, so it's now translated, and if we switch it back to en, it should convert to English. Perfect. So our localization is working, but we need to now add a switcher where you can show the available languages, and user can click, and so let's quickly add a basic one. So I'm going to go over here, and let's create a nav here. I'm going to add some classes, text white and py2. Right, and then inside I will add a div with the class of container, mx auto, flex, justify end, and space x4, and then we will create two links here. So the first one is going to take it to route locale.change, and then I'm going to pass in en, and this is going to take us to the en, and let's add some classes. Should we bring it to a new line, right? So I'm going to add a text small and a hover underline. Right, so let's take a look. Okay, so we get the locale.change is not defined, so we need to define that route. Let's quickly do the same thing for ES. Yes. All right. So let's go to our web.php, and let's define our route. So I'm gonna say route get, and I'm not gonna go into a controller because what we need to do is quite simple, and it's not relevant to this tutorial. So we're going to say locale change, and then we're going to accept the locale that is passed in, and let's use a closure. Let's take the locale that comes in the path parameter, and inside what we will do is we're going to set a session variable. So session put, and we'll say locale, and inside we'll just pass the locale that was sent, and then we're just going to return return back. All right, and Let's go back. Actually, we do need to add a route name. So it will be locale.change. If we go back now, we see these two links for EN and for ES. And if we click, it's going to set that in the session. So let's actually, in order to set the locale, what we need is we need to use a middleware which runs on every request, and then it sets the locale based on this session value that we have set. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new middleware. We're going to call it middleware set locale, and let's go in there, set locale, and here above the next we're going to do app set locale, and we're going to take the locale from the session key locale, and if it is not set, then we're going to default to the app.locale which is defined for the application. And that's all we need to do here. And now we need to register this middleware. So I'm using Laravel 11, so we need to do that in bootstrap/app.php, and here we'll say middleware append, and we'll say set locale class. All right, and yeah, since we're using session, we also need the start session middleware here, because without that the sessions won't work. So we're going to append that as well. So I'm going to say start session class. All right, so now if we refresh, and if I click ES, we go to the Spanish site, and if we click EN, we go to the English site. All right, so yeah, I guess this is it for this video. One last thing that I would want to show you is how to pass in parameters. So let's take a look at that. So if we have a language file, so let's just say welcome to our localization demo, and let's say that we want to pass in a name here. So all you need to do is you need to say colon, and then specify the name of the the placeholder that you want to replace it with, or the name of the placeholder that you want to replace. I think you know what I'm saying. So let's go over here and inside of the header.title, where is it? So all we need to do is we need to say name, and let's say John. All right, so if you say go over here now, it says John, and if we click here, we also need to specify that in the Spanish. So I think it will go over here. So it says bienvenido John, and if we go to English, it says welcome John. And one cool thing I would like to show you is that if we are specifying it here as all lowercase, and what we can do is we can also, let's say it full capital, and this is for Espanol, and let's do it the same for English. And if we go back now, it's going to apply that to the value that is passed in. So it's going to capitalize all of that, and if you keep just the first letter capital, and let's try that again, and AME is going to apply that as well. So if I think when we passed it, we set it to J capital, but if we set it to lowercase, it'll still capitalize the first letter. So I think that is pretty cool. I wanted to show you that, and I'm glad that I remembered, because I forgot to put it in my notes. So I guess this is it for this video. I hope you found it useful, and I will see you in the next one. If you liked it, then click the like button and subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching.